generation of hope. Ada.
Thank you. All my life, I have felt responsible to leave this earth better than I found it. I have seen unnecessary problems and terrible hypocrisies walk by unnoticed by the majority of the public, accepted as commonplace, and defined as the norm. I refuse to remain willingly ignorant of society's problems, choosing instead to acknowledge and contribute to their resolution. There are many reasons as to why, but today I will explain to you one of the most important, in honor of, in my opinion, one of the most important men born, Martin Luther King Jr. My school hallways are a battleground, with slurs hurled like projectiles onto those who are guilty of nothing except the crime of existence. Inspired by Dr. King and many other trailblazers of justice, I have a deep responsibility to shut them down, and so I do. I try my hardest to always be kind, no matter who is being mistreated, and to accept everyone as they are, as Dr. King wished to be accepted. Kindness is free, and so is acceptance, but hurting others should never be accepted, and silence is just another form of acceptance. I know that taking a stand, no matter how small, is a way of paying tribute to the principles he taught. I believe the world would be a better place if we all understood how selfless he truly was and how much the selflessness and bravery he demonstrated has changed our lives. Far too many of us don't understand the impacts Dr. King had, not just on African Americans, but on every single one of us living in this country today. Because of his activism, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a landmark federal law that outlawed discriminatory voting practices like poll taxes and literacy tests, was passed. Before that law existed, our ability to vote in some states depended on whether we could read or whether we had enough money, things that should never be allowed to decide someone's rights. More shocking is the fact that this is not ancient history. This was common in the 1960s, a mere 60 years ago. Even our own state was not immune to this. We had our own de facto laws discriminating against our fellow citizens. It's a keystone of American values that all people, no matter their race, gender, economic status, or ability, are represented and represented fairly. We stand for fairness, for equality, and for the belief that everyone deserves a voice. But the truth is, we were not living up to our own values until Dr. King pushed the nation to change. Understanding this made me realize how easy it is to take my rights and freedoms for granted, especially when I wasn't alive to see how hard people fought for them. Dr. King's legacy is not confined to the history books. It is alive in the very opportunities I'm afforded today. I walk the same school halls, yet I can join student council, run for leadership roles, and speak my mind without the fear that my background, status, or identity will serve as a limit on my potential. When I consider the shift of the Voting Rights Act he inspired, I am confronted with the profound realization that a right I will soon exercise, the vote, was paid for in the courage and in some cases the blood of countless Americans. This knowledge compels me to pay attention in my history and government classes, but also to value the freedoms people fought and died for, lest I take their ultimate sacrifice for granted. I'm honored to have him to look up to as an inspiring figure. I have a dream as well. I dream that one day the people of our country will have love, not hate, nestled deep inside our souls. There is no division, no warring parties, no fear of our protectors, no murders, and no victims. I dream of a day where we lift each other up instead of cutting each other down, and of a day where we can be content with our leaders and content with ourselves. All Martin Luther King Jr. wanted was to see love and to see freedom. That's all we should want. The First Amendment gave him and gives all of us the right to peaceful protest. We have the right to declare what we believe to be unjust, and we have the right to challenge it. If we don't use these rights, then nothing will change, and we will become oppressed yet again. Today, as you're listening to this, I hope you're looking back on everyday instances in your life that would not have been possible without the ultimate sacrifice given by this man. There's a possibility that I wouldn't even be given the chance to meet some of my closest friends due to the segregated state of our country that he helped end. He drastically and dramatically altered all of our lives, touching the fibers of the future with his bloodied hand from the past. He has impacted all of our lives, and for this, we should be grateful. For in changing our lives, it cost him his own. The dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was not an endpoint, but a mere beginning of the path we still must walk. We owe a debt not just to him, but to all of those who fought for their and our freedom that can only be repaid by following in their footsteps. By allowing the lessons of his protests, his speeches, and his very life to fade from our curriculum and therefore our consciousness, we risk more than historical blind spots. We risk complacency, allowing the past to become our future. Let us choose to be the generation that moves forward, fights for its values, keeps its dream alive through our actions, and speaks our truth. After all, to speak with truth is to speak with freedom, and these words you are hearing are the freest. Thank you.